Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 2021 Resident White Coat Ceremony for North Country Healthcare and the Colorado Plateau Center for Health Professions. We're really, thank you. We're excited to have so many people in person this evening. Last year, of course, we had a much smaller group, and while COVID's not yet behind us, we're, I think, kind of seeing the horizon, I hope. So my name is Maritza Martinick. I'm the Education Director at North Country. I'll be your MC tonight. We're excited to be honoring our new residents in both our Community-Based Pharmacy Residency and our Family and Community Medicine Residency. So first I'll introduce Dr. Ann Newland, CEO of North Country, to give some opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Maritza. It really is a pleasure to be here with you this year. Oh, pull that down a little bit. Yep. It's a disadvantage of being short, you know. It's a disadvantage in conference rooms where I feel like I'm always like this at tables. But it really is a pleasure to be here tonight with you all. This is a time of celebration. It's a time of new beginnings. And really, when we're launching into a new year with our clinical pharmacy residents and a brand new year of a brand new class of family and community medicine residents, it's also about your dreams and hopes. Your hopes for your career, where you want to go, what you want to do, and that's quite a journey. It changes over time. But this is also about our dreams and hopes as an institution here in Northern Arizona. Because we all have reasons for believing in education programs that are based in community. I think it changes how you practice. It changes your relationship to your community. And it's very different from the standard way that most health professionals are trained. And I know that for me, having worked in the Indian Health Service for many years, and having seen firsthand how hard it is to attract highly qualified individuals to serve in high-need communities, I know that the trainees in our program have the heart for this work, and they're being trained to be successful in this work. So you're not here alone. You've got your own hopes and dreams, but you've also got our hopes and dreams lifting you up, and I want you to feel like you're part of something far larger than yourself. You know, the clinical pharmacy residency program has been in place here at North Country for more than 10 years. And this is a very interesting way for pharmacists to train. And Kim Chen, our program director and the head of the pharmacy department, will tell you more about that. But it goes back to interprofessional education and interprofessional practice, so that as primary care providers, we rely not only on nursing staff, MAs, nurse practitioners and such, but we also integrate behavioral health and clinical pharmacy to improve outcomes for our patients. The Family Medicine Residency Program was over 10 years in the making, and I feel like I can't believe we've already come to the end of our first year and are welcoming our second class. This has been a dream project to work on, and I've been so gratified for the wide support that we've had for this within our community. But we're not going to stop with family medicine. We also want to bring back a dental residency program at North Country. That's in the works. And we've already started planning for a psychiatry residency. We're doing a feasibility study this fall with support from the NARBHA Institute, one of our major thought partners. Early on in our journey to creating this family and community residency program, we had believers like the Arizona AHEC program, and many of you are familiar with AHECs, Area Health Education Centers, but these really provide the pathway to bring people from diverse backgrounds and underrepresented backgrounds into the health professions. We've also had support from the NARBHA Institute, and in particular, Mary Jo Gregory, the president and CEO of the NARBHA Institute, who you'll hear from tonight. The NARBHA Institute believes strongly in bringing the wellness efforts around patient care. It's not just primary care, it's also mental health services for overall individual and community wellness. We've had support from the Geo Family Foundation, John and Ginger Giovanni, from Mike Lovin, and I have to give special thanks to Representative Joanne Osborne and Representative Regina Cobb. This year, they co-sponsored a bill, House Bill 2392, that's created a pathway for federally qualified health centers like North Country with accredited residencies to qualify for Medicaid matching funds. Now, I know for people who aren't in the biz, that's a lot of lingo, but basically it means that if we can expand slots, if we can grow the size of our family medicine residency, if we can build a psychiatry residency, we've got a pathway to pay for those positions through community partnerships and Medicaid support. We also had critical academic partners with the University of Arizona College of Medicine in Phoenix and A.T. Still University. And our partnership with A.T. Still is also fed by the fact that we're a community campus for their undergraduate medical program. And I'm proud to say that this year, one of our interns was an A.T. Still grad, and we're welcoming another A.T. Still grad into our second class. We have diverse training partners, including Flagstaff Medical Center, Kingman Regional Medical Center, and also Tuba City Regional Health Center, Hopi Healthcare, and White River. These are critical partners here in Northern Arizona and help expose our trainees to the diversity of experience here in the North. We also have rotations within the Coconino County Health Department to help broaden people's understanding of how health is affected in communities. And we've had a partnership with Banner Children's Desert so that our trainees can get exposed to highly complex pediatric inpatient care and bring that to serve the communities here in the North. We also have rotations with Northern Arizona VA, and I hope that the residents really enjoy their VA rotations. Those were one of my special favorites when I was in training. We also have a graduate medical education committee. I won't go through the names of each of our members of this committee. It's been a changing group of people. But these are the folks who help keep our eyes on the horizon, help us maintain the quality and appropriate oversight of our training programs. And this is time that they volunteer. And they had volunteered this time even before we were able to launch the residency program. So I'm very grateful for all their time and efforts to make sure that we have high quality family medicine and community medicine here at North Country. Tonight it's my pleasure to introduce Aaron Secakuku. I should mention that Aaron is going to join us by video today. And a couple of our next presenters will have pre-recorded video presentations. Part of that is due to timing. Not everybody can join us tonight. And part of it is to reduce the risk of spreading COVID, even though many of us here in this room are vaccinated. But Aaron is very special to me. He's a former board chair of North Country Healthcare. He served on the North Country board for 6 years. So that means he got to know the organization and how we operate, everything from our finances to personnel issues in great detail. Professionally, he coordinates youth programs at NACA, which is Native Americans for Community Action. That is the urban Indian program here in Flagstaff. And he's been part of major advocacy efforts. I've gone to DC twice with Aaron to advocate for community health centers and other issues. And he understands very clearly the pathways that people take to get into the health professions and why it's important to find ways to tell their stories in the halls of power. So I'll hand things over to my dear friend, Aaron Secakuku. Thank you.
Laloma, ne hayo mayan hopi matsewa, ne pakabit ang sino, ne piutep wangwa. Painatiwan amami kwakwatani, gamait nahut tetakayo. Paison ka akha kami, gamasin mo amangam hapi lomat na malay yang ni. Maobi na hongwito tani. Pai wiyome kakamit am sosoyomita kati hapinabo kiawin wisni. Hello, my name is Aaron Secakuku. I come from the village of Bakavi, and my Hopi name is Hayuma. I am a member of the Greasewood clan. I come to you as a past North Country Board member and the 2019 board president. I'm honored to be here with you at the annual White Coat ceremony and offer you some words of encouragement and acknowledgement of our ancestors that once resided in this area. At one time, our Hopi people occupied areas near Walnut Canyon and Sunset Crater. Along with that, many of our Hopi tribal clans have migration stories that come through this area. I am glad each of you have chosen to take on the challenge of entering the medical field. It is a lot of work, and I know that the people you will be serving will benefit greatly from your knowledge and your skills. Give it your best effort. Just as our Hopi culture teaches, you cannot have a good harvest if you don't put a good heart and a good thought into tending to your fields. I wish each of you the best in your future endeavors and wish you continued success in your life. Thank you. Kokwa.
Thank you, Aaron and Dr. Newland. I was just going to lean down, but it's not working. Next, we're going to hear from Sarah Benatar. She's our current governing board president, and she has some comments for our incoming residents.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Benatar, and I am the current president of the North Country Healthcare Board of Directors. I also serve as the county treasurer here in Coconino County, which I've had the honor of serving as county treasurer for the last 7 years. But tonight, though, it is my great honor to welcome each and every one of you to the second class of residency here at North Country Healthcare. We are excited that you are joining us here in Northern Arizona to work with underserved communities across the state. I like to tell people whenever I talk about Flagstaff and Coconino County that this is the most beautiful, amazing region of not just the state, but of the United States and of the world. We have so much beauty and culture and history throughout our county and throughout the various counties that you will be serving. We are also home to over 7 different tribal nations, home to the Grand Canyon, the White Mountains, Red Rocks, the San Francisco Peaks, and so much more. So I hope you get to enjoy that as much as I do. But these communities up here, we have suffered great loss and great pain as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And as each of you begin this journey, you have no idea how much you will be contributing, making a big difference in the overall health of our communities, the overall well-being of our communities, and the recovery of the loss that we each have suffered during this time. I personally wish I could be there with you in person. I am in Guatemala right now, spending some time with my family, but I cannot wait to meet each and every one of you in the field. It is such a unique time, and North Country is an amazing place to be at. We're so excited to have you. On behalf of the entire board, welcome. As a patient of North Country, thank you for your service. I look forward to meeting you, and I am excited that you have chosen to work in a community as ours and to really make a difference in our lives. So thank you and welcome.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. Next, we're going to hear from Mary Jo Gregory, CEO of the NARBHA Institute. As Dr. Newland mentioned earlier, they've been a major funder and supporter of the family medicine residency for years. And I'll turn it over to Mary Jo.
Good evening. My name is Mary Jo Gregory, and I'm honored to represent the partnership with North Country and the NARBHA Institute that launched this family medicine residency program. It's a privilege to greet you tonight and to celebrate this legacy moment with you as you begin your brave and exciting journey during these most unprecedented times. You have an amazing opportunity ahead of you to ponder your place in this world with the nobility of your mission in sight. And as you reflect on the harvest of your time so far in medicine and begin to write this next chapter, a few thoughts on this new post-pandemic equilibrium, one of optimism, hope, and adventure. Number one, we witnessed a scientific revolution in real time that is reshaping our lives. Two, the power of humanity translated through the lens of equity is now our common responsibility. Three, collaboration outplayed competition, and sharing created powerful solutions. Four, friendship and kindness became the universal language and gave us a window into the human heart. And five, every endeavor embraces both the art and science of healthcare. I hope you curate yours with vision, culture, and resources, and blend it with compassion, authenticity, and trust. We wish you great luck. We'll be here for you if you ever need us, and hope you remember the best view comes after the hardest climb. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Jo. And last but not least, we're going to hear from State Representative Joanne Osborne. She's one of the sponsors of the House bill that led to the potential for us to have that increased funding that Dr. Newland talked about earlier to expand our residencies in the future.
Hello, I'm State Representative Joanne Osborne, and it is an honor to be with you tonight. Even though this is a video, it is a pleasure to be part of your event. But most of all, I would like to congratulate you and thank you for being a part of Arizona's health community. I am also the chairwoman of the Health and Human Services Committee in the state legislature. And I'm a businesswoman and a mom, and I know how important it is to make Arizona's bright future include great physicians just as yourselves. It was an honor for me to run House Bill 2392 that had to do with graduate medical education reimbursements. And that was for qualifying community health centers and also rural health clinics. This is a great step that Arizona took to be able to build that physician pipeline. Now, I'm also a former vice mayor of the city of Goodyear, and my family came to Arizona in the 1800s. Even back in the wild, wild west days, they all knew that to build a sustainable and great city and town, they needed to have old Doc Hollywood or Doc, whatever they were back then. We know that it was needed, and that includes you, because Arizona's future, innovation, science, research, and incredible healthcare has to start with you, the physicians, and our nurses, and everyone that supports you is so very, very important. So I am thrilled because for the last 15 years, I've been part of trying to build that pipeline just for you. So it's exciting to be with you tonight to thank you for all you do. Now, as you go forward, I hope that you will continue to be part of an Arizona community, be part of your own career and your family and your friends as you build everyone that's around you. We need you so much, and we want you to enjoy Arizona because you are part of that future. But always go and smile, tell jokes, be silly. Bad dad jokes are the greatest. And remember, we want you to be blessed, and we thank you for being here. And if you're ever down at the state capitol, come by and say hi. Hey, did you know what? I have a new horse. His name is Mayo. And guess what? Mayo days. Take care and be blessed and be the good.
What inspirational thoughts. I actually meant that seriously, but it's also funny. So we're going to move right into the exciting part of our agenda. and recognize our individual residents. I'd like to introduce Dr. Ed Paul, our Family and Community Medicine Residency Director. We have been really honored to have Dr. Paul with us to launch this program. He's been a leader in family medicine residencies across the country, in several communities in Arizona, and I don't think we could be where we are without his leadership. So please join me in welcoming Ed Paul.
Thanks, Maritza. I'll try and follow our last speaker, but I have no jokes on my agenda. I just want to say welcome again, especially to family members of our family med and pharmacy residents who have traveled to be here tonight, and all of you watching virtually. It's great to have you here as part of this cozy little ceremony. It's the second time we've done this, which is a particular thrill for me. Thinking back over the past year, this is a defining moment in many ways, as Dr. Newland mentioned, many of those. We have successfully navigated a number of hurdles to get through our first year. And a lot of those hurdles are common for new residency programs such as this, but, and let alone in the midst of a pandemic as certainly one of those hurdles. But, a few things popped into my mind that for the first time next week, we'll have residents teaching residents, second years teaching first years, which will be just wonderful to watch, in the precepting room and in the hospitals. We've been through an accreditation site visit this past year by, our accrediting body, ACGME, which came out wonderfully positive for us. We've established new relationships with community physicians in our area, with organizations. Dr. Newland mentioned many of those. Huge support from within our own organization, which I don't take for granted, and from obstetricians, pediatricians, staff at our Flagstaff 4th Street office, and really across the whole network of our North Country system. We're paying attention, and partly by my design, to work-life balance in our program. We pay attention to things like resident wellness, which I think is very important these days, with a different set of pressures coming at residents who are in training compared to when many of us trained in the residency program. And that's on track, I'm happy to say as well. Last but not least, we have a trailblazing group of first-year residents in our program, and a few of those are here tonight. Dr. Harder and Dr. Curtis is somewhere in the audience back there in the corner, and we'll bring them up later here in a minute. But such a enthusiastic, dynamic group of people. Dan Stutman is the other one. Dan's not here tonight, by the way, who have not only been committed to their own education as physicians, but also committed to the development of this new program and putting their heart and soul into it as we've gone through this first year. And that's been just fantastic, and I don't take that for granted either. Anyway, because of all those reasons, I'm very grateful to be here tonight with you. And before we get on with white coats, I thought we'd stop, and for our two interns who have finished and moved on to their second year, we have internship completion certificates. So come on up. And I'd like Dr. Davis to help present those. Dr. Davis is one of our family physician faculty, and here she is. We have all of our faculty here tonight, which I'll introduce. But come on up, Tasha and Elizabeth. We don't have music, so we'll have to cut out just that. Anyway, present, and I'll shake hands later.
Thank you. Wow.
And again, thank you for all the effort you put into helping shape our program this year.
Oh gosh.
Right. We'll have time for more pictures later, but.
Okay.
Before we get on with the white coats, you know, these are special and unique times, as we all know, and I thought I'd pause for a moment to recognize our incoming class in family medicine and also our incoming class in pharmacy. You know, graduation ceremonies aren't what they used to be for medical school, and I assume for pharmacy school. And that's true for last year, and I'm sure this year. And I think it's important to stop before we get on with white coats and just reflect on what these folks and families have been through in the last number of years, getting to this point, maybe not having much of a ceremony to participate in several months ago, as many schools have kind of piecemeal graduation together, and much of it is still virtual. So I'd like to raise our glasses, or at least a round of applause, to celebrate completion of medical school and pharmacy school for these unique individuals. Thank you. We don't have confetti or champagne, but we might have champagne in the back. White coat ceremonies for physicians, for people entering medical school, have been a tradition for a long time. Just marking the moment when people come into the profession and you know, start their training. A lot of residency programs have adopted that as well over the years, and so this ceremony is really to mark a moment in time as these young professionals take on the responsibility of caring for other people in a different kind of way than as a medical student. And also, what goes with training, of course, is developing skill sets and their own style and, you know, you know, their being as a professional, as a family physician, as a pharmacist. And so I'll ask Dr. Abbott to come up when he's ready, and we'll start with our white coat part of the ceremony. What we're going to do is put white coats on our individual residents one at a time, and we'll have slides to guide us. In addition, what we're going to be presenting to our family med residents is a stethoscope with a hand-embroidered emblem from one of our staff, actually Melissa Fisher. Melissa's not here tonight, but I want to publicly thank her for all the work she's put in to the handiwork on these stethoscopes. So first, I need a slide, is Dr. Christofferson, who is from Normal, Illinois, a place I'm familiar with, also the same medical school, it happens, that I went to. And areas of interest which will change, I guarantee you, over the next 3 years, but starting out with full spectrum family medicine and women's health. And fun fact, she was very active as a leader in medical school as a family medicine interest group president, is what that stands for. Volunteered, she's a Gold Humanism honoree, which also is quite an honor, and fits right in with the outdoor activities in Flagstaff, and it's just wonderful to have her here, and thank you. Moving on, Erin Gallagher. Valparaiso, Indiana. I didn't know that was your hometown, but Erin has been with us on campus at Flagstaff through the ATSU Medical School for the past 3 years. She has also interest in full spectrum care, which for those of you not in the biz means care from birth through death, including delivering babies and so forth. Community health, critical access medicine, quite the outdoor enthusiast. Also a leader in her medical school here on campus in Flagstaff, and great to have you with us here. Dr. Haney is here with his family. Tyler from down the hill in Gilbert is from Midwestern University School of Medicine. Also full spectrum family medicine, which we don't take for granted here. We will excel at that. His wife Rachel is back there. I think his 3 kids are not here tonight, and is a musician, and great to have you with us. Dr. Jeff Quick. Has the largest entourage with him here tonight, is from Tampa, Florida, and also Midwestern. Integrative medicine is one of his interests, and that fits in with our interest in the program. Sports med behavioral health. This is his 2nd career, his first being that as a history teacher, which we're getting to know a little bit about as we get to know him. And it looks like he enjoys coffee, and that'll fit right in as well. One thing that I ask of our incoming class every year is to kind of, again, mark this moment in time as they venture forth in residency training, is to develop a professionalism statement, committing to all the tenets and ethics that relate to medicine. And I haven't seen this statement yet, but I'd like our first-year class to come back up and read that for us tonight.
Okay. We, the 2nd PGY1 class of the Colorado Plateau Family and Community Medicine Residency Program, understand professionalism to be steadfast adherence and commitment to a set of values and ethical standards. The values that guide our actions as resident physicians include respect. We offer complete consideration for the feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions of our patients and colleagues.
Our next tenet is honesty. We commit to continual efforts to be truthful and transparent during communication with our patients, our colleagues, and ourselves. Integrity. We endeavor to always do the right thing and be willing to admit when we have made a mistake. Compassion. We strive to treat others how we want to be treated and to deliver care with empathy every day.
Inclusivity. We respect and celebrate our shared humanity and embrace the characteristics that make us unique. We will treat members of our community with the honor and respect due to every human being. Equity. We commit to being just, fair, and impartial in all our interactions and to promote the same values in our care delivery systems. Excellence. We strive to exceed expectations by constantly improving quality of care and ensuring that we are up to date with the latest evidence-based health interventions.
Duty and dependability. We will fulfill obligations in a reliable, responsible, and dependable manner. We will comply with organizational rules, policies, and procedures. Accountability. We commit to endeavor to accept responsibility for our actions and inactions, striving to always learn from our mistakes. Lastly, service. We exhibit an unselfish regard for and continual drive to improve the welfare of our patients and community.
Before we move to pharmacy, I'd like to recognize, we have, in the course of this first year, one of our first year residents left us, and I won't go into details, of course, but we've had a position to fill since last December, and so lucky to have found we think, an ideal person to fill that spot. His name is Alex Lamb, and there he is. And Alex is here. Alex is here with his mom and dad tonight, who I've met there in the middle. from a new osteopathic school in New Mexico called Burrell. Was desperate to get back to the Southwest after doing a transitional year in Mississippi in a small town. And also interested in OB, obstetrics, and full spectrum care. He was in a I don't know how big of a hospital system, but for the hospital as a whole was named Intern of the Year as he completed his internship. A couple thousand residents at least, I'm sure. Yeah. And it's great to have him here to join our second class as they move forward. And so far, we think he's going to be a great fit. And thanks for coming to Flagstaff.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Thank you, everybody. That'll conclude family medicine. Let's move on to pharmacy, and I'll introduce Kim Chen, who is here, the director of our program. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Paul. As Dr. Newland said, pharmacy residency has been around a really long time at North Country, but we feel so honored to have the family medicine residency program here because now we get to have a party. You know, it's really exciting to be a part of this. We've had a residency program for over 11 years. This year is our 10th year accredited, which is really exciting. And we're getting to a place where I actually have to stop and think back to the start of the program and the first residents that came through. Training for pharmacists is a little different than most of you in this room are becoming familiar with because you're just going through the process or your family is. Pharmacy residency is not required as a part of training for a pharmacist. After these ladies in our program graduated, they could have left and gone out into the profession to work in hospitals and pharmacies from where they were at. But they instead chose to pursue a residency program to further their education. There's 3 goals for a pharmacy residency program. The first being clinical program development and training. The second is research development and practice. And the third is teaching. And so they have committed to wanting to be in a rural community and further their profession. But it's a really, really tough role to get. Did you know that there was almost 9,000 applicants for pharmacy residency programs, and this last year there were only 1,500 programs? So it is an amazing honor that we were able to match with these 2 wonderful candidates. There's only 230 programs in all of the United States that are like North Country's. So we still stand among a select few paving the way in our profession. And so that's really exciting to be on the forefront. It keeps us on our toes. We can't rely on how we might have been trained, but continue to have to grow, as our preceptors would speak, and stay at the top and the forefront of what we're doing. We have to learn how to be integrated professionals in some states, in some circumstances, because that's not how we were trained. And that's what's really exciting as the family medicine residency program has launched, is seeing training residents together. You don't get to see that in a lot of places. You end up running parallel tracks and then running into each other later on in professions. And we're able to see that start at the beginning of the profession. And so for me, that's been incredibly rewarding and such a professional accomplishment. Though my predecessor launched it, she was an incredible innovator. I feel so honored to continue moving that program forward. To date, we've had 21 residents, and 10 of those residents have stayed at North Country for some period of time or another. And that's why we have the program, just like the family medicine program, to grow our own and let them stay in the communities that they've learned and trained with. And one of the reasons that we keep our residents and train at North Country is because of our rural need and the need for our underserved populations, and then to expand and extend our programs. When North Country first started, we didn't have pharmacy the way that it is now. And it's really exciting. I look around the room and see providers that are working side by side with pharmacists not in a pharmacy. And that is not standard practice everywhere. And so it's exciting to see what we're able to do. You know, I have a story that I want to share. It's a little bit, the person in this room doesn't know what's happening, the couple that don't. But it was heartwarming to me. First was, I thought the residents were here last year, and I'll embrace it, and I'll see a resident as a patient. I'll lean in and be vulnerable. And I have to tell you that the resident that I saw did such a phenomenal job that I was actually like, can we send some of our other folks back through for a little more training? Because they did what we are telling our staff to do. We're following the AIDIT model. I felt so comfortable and treated like a patient and not a medical professional, because I don't know, for those of you in the room, sometimes you go and you're medical, but you're in your patient brain, and I was treated as a patient, and that was phenomenal. But what warmed my heart even more is just this last week, I saw that same practitioner go into our resident's office for the pharmacy and say, hey, I've got a question, and I know you're a resident, can you help me? Rather than seeking out even someone else. And to see that layer of learning happen, like I got choked up. I was like, wow, this is what we want to have happen. We want to have our learners embracing one another and learning how to utilize one another. And so it was like, okay, we did it, we're here. We still have a ways to go to figure out how to make these programs work together, lock and step, but we are making such great strides, and it has been such a rewarding benefit to see. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the presentation of the coats. And I'm gonna have to use the slides because I don't remember which order they're in, even though there's two. So we're gonna start with Julia. Julia's here from the University of Charleston. That's not from a state that you think it's from. Her school's in Kentucky. I got it wrong a few times. And she has an area in interest in ambulatory care, diabetes, and management and anticoagulation. And fun fact, she has 2 dogs. I haven't met them yet, but I have heard a lot about them. They are her children. The residents are also being presented with a commemorative mortar and pestle. It's engraved with their name and the residency year. We don't use mortar and pestles a lot in the pharmacy anymore, but it's still what we kind of acknowledge as part of our program. So. And then our next resident is Beth Stalker, and she is from the University of Arizona, and that is in Arizona. Her area of interest is also ambulatory care, but then she swings the other way and likes critical care and toxicology as well. Her fun fact, don't be confused with her sister, as I was. She worked at La Fonda early on as a teenager, and her sister also did. They did different jobs, so don't get them confused. Ask her about it later. And so we're really glad to have Elizabeth here as well. So pharmacists are really structured, and we like things the same. So while the family medicine residents wrote their own oath and statements, we go for standardization. And so my residents are going to come up and read the oath of a pharmacist. Well, I love the idea of writing our own. We've stuck with structure and consistency. So if you two would come on up and read the oath of a pharmacist.
I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for my patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence.
I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experience, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. And I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. Thank you.
Congratulations to everyone. We're so excited to welcome you to the North Country family and for you to be training together in this interprofessional, I gotta stop touching this thing, interprofessional environment. We're just so excited to have you with us. I also wanna recognize our faculty who are here in both programs. We, unfortunately, last year we weren't able to welcome all of the faculty because of the pandemic. We were really trying to keep it to a minimum, but I don't want to forget anybody, but Dr. Pulvers, Dr. Davis, Dr. Kneisel, all of our pharmacists, let's see, Sybil, Laura, Stephanie, Molly, and I don't know who I'm forgetting, so I'm sorry if I forgot somebody, but we're so excited to have everyone here to celebrate. Who did I forget? Oh, Brandon. Brandon's also our AV tech, so he blends in. So we're going to conclude. We'll be mingling a little bit, so please hang out for a while. And thank you so much to those people who are watching on our live stream. So in case I forgot to mention that earlier, there's a live stream. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day.